right. So let's just jump into the articles. I have us right now on article, in the special article 4.
Okay, we have that. Let me pick it up. Crap, I didn't bring this.
Article 4?
I didn't bring the warrant.
It is hot, Mike.
The warrant? Yeah.
I have it
Do you have an extra warrant for Donnie? Do you have an
I've
extra
got one.
warrant?
I got it here.
What, one warrant? Yeah, I got it.
We got one.
He's got it.
I got it right here.
Okay.
Oh, you
Everything
got
else
it?
is junk.
Psych.
Well, come up to the table, talk right into the microphone.
Do we have to? No. I move Article 4 as written.
Second.
All right, discussion? Anything?
Capital budget determined we have the resource to support these projects.
Okay. All right, and this is this gonna be, when is this starting and finishing? Any idea? Like, this is involved surf, because I see it
This
says
is
Spring
Surf
Street,
Ave.
but also
Surf-
Surf Ave.
So they got the two major projects going on, Mr. Chairman. They got the leak on Plymouth Ave.
Right.
And they're gonna do the water main in that area also, plus the main for the sewer. So that's one project, that's first and foremost.
Right.
The problem with Surf Ave, it's the height of summer by the time they get that going, so they're trying to figure out when they're gonna do that. The Surf Ave one, they have ARPA money and there's some other money that they're using. And that project, they wanted to be able to get that done before the summer,
Right.
but it doesn't look that way.
Really? So will they just go ahead and do it
I
no
would
matter
hope
when?
that they, well, I don't know, I would think that they would wait. Well, I suppose they could do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, maybe not do any work down there on Fridays when traffic's bad.
All right. Any further discussion on Article 4?
I read the wrong response, but it was the
Oh.
DPW has some responses. I mean,
We are all good.
it's fun, this thing.
All right. If there's gonna see none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained?
May I ask Michael a question?
You bet. Michael? Question?
What's going on across the street?
Yes, sir. What do you mean across the street?
By the Chinese restaurant?
Wall Street?
So that's so if you remember, you may have seen from the selectmen's meetings, they had a water pipe burst
Okay.
right on the marsh outside of Kent Park. So you only can access it either from Wrexham, if you went across the river,
Or down there.
or from Kent Park to come off of Dakota. And we actually put the drone up. It was in the winter. We went out
Okay.
there to see it. It was, so what they did is, they have extra loops. So they're connecting a loop from 139 down Willow and then up South River to have the backup
Okay.
water supply. So they've got it, so they had to install the whole pipe. They're working to 139 to do the final connection. And then at some point, we'll be replacing the Willow Street Bridge also.
That's
in
what I
the-
thought it was.
That's in the queue.
Okay. Do they have the money for that job, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a pre-figured job already.
Okay. All right, thank you.
The only thing they had to borrow for right now, the emergency borrowings for
Right.
the sewer.
Right, okay. Thank you.
Okay, we voted on that. Article 9.
So I move Article 9 as written.
Do you have a second?
Second.
All right. Discussion?
So basically, this came up, we have a lot of dog owners in the community, and they feel as though this would be something that would be really good for the town. It's a good site, it's central to the community, so people have good access to it. The Friends of, the Friends of
Marshfield Dog Park.
Thank you
were
very
correct,
much.
Sherry.
I
Absolutely.
wanted to say Friends of Friends of Marshfield. Peter Igo, wrong park. Friends of Marshfield Dog Park is going to.
See, we're blessed with so many friends in this town.
That's right. They will maintain, and they just feel like this is a really good, a really good thing for the town to have.
Anything else? What is the and/or? And I don't know what undesignated reserve funds are. Is that?
Hold on.
It said it's coming from open space reserve funds and/or undesignated reserve funds.
Wherever they have money, so they have two accounts where they have additional dollars, so either one of those or a combination, they'll pull the money from to come up with the $175,000.
Okay, so there's.
The motion will specify, so the motion will have the, and I didn't bring my motions with me.
Okay. So there's obviously at least 175 in there.
It was 175, that's what they-
Undesignated undesignated reserve fund.
That's what they committed to, yep. And the great thing about, Mr. Chairman, if I may, it's
Yeah, yeah.
interesting, if you go down to where the dog park is now, dogs have been freely using that area already, getting themselves acquainted.
It also beats the previous location, and you had to go up that hill and
Yeah.
all that climbing for the first
Okay.
site that they
Yeah,
had.
it's nice and flat.
It's a good
Yeah.
site,
Okay.
it is, it's a good spot
Awesome.
for it.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? All right, Article 10.
I move Article 10 is written.
Oh, don't I think?
Second.
Okay, this article allows the town to develop a piece of town-owned property for the benefit of all those who enjoy walking trails, and it also adds another trail to our open space and walking. I mean, I've been down, I've walked the thing, I walked the Harbor Walk 3 or 4 times a week, and this thing is just, it's a great piece of property. And what they're gonna wind up doing, there's some trees that are growing, so Mike will cut them down, they'll trim the sides, they're not gonna put any spoils or anything on it, they're just gonna grade, they'll put a walkway on the top, probably stone dust, and it'll go down and around, and people can walk it. So you come up the Harbor Walk, you've got like, you're in civilization, I call it, cross the street, and in 2 minutes, you're in the wilderness. And it's beautiful. I've walked the thing, you know, as far as you can.
Is it all just stone dust? Does it get? does it
No,
get wet
this,
there,
it,
or
right,
is it-
no,
is
right,
it
right
like-
now, it's solid dirt, or from,
Yeah.
this spoils from many, many years ago, which are all certified to be safe. So there are trees in some areas, they'll cut the trees down, only where they block your walking. If there's trees on the sides of the hill that come over, they'll take them down. All they'll do is remove stuff that would interfere with your walk. Then you can go all the way around and come back.
I figured that. I just didn't know if there was any like wooden ramps type of thing. It was just all just gonna be.
It's all dirt. It's
Dirt
all-
or
it's-
stone
no,
dust
what
or
they'll
something
do
like
is,
that, or-
from what he said, they'll put the stone dust in, and it'll be probably 5 to 6 feet wide. They may use asphalt, which could be a little cheaper and cut the cost down. So it'll be a paved, if that's what you wanna call it, path that you can walk down all the way around. As far as maintaining it, the harbor master's summer crew will make sure that everything is picked up. There's camera surveillance there already in the parking lot, and they'll make, the way you get up to it, they'll put like an ADA compliant grade, you know, so that you can walk up gradually to get up to the top, and then walk this thing.
Okay, cool. Any further discussion? All right, seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? All right, Article 11. Dawn, you or Sherry?
I move this article as written. Okay, basically, the budget is done before the DPW knows what the actual costs have been for the year, what the actual costs are for the year, the actual cost of the collection and solid waste disposal. So it's really like a catch-up on the fund,
Mhm.
actually. Okay.
All right. I was looking at this, and so it's about almost 5% of the town budget for disposal. So I Googled, like, you know, what do the towns pay? And the range was like between 4 and 30%, so my Googling did me zero help whatsoever.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, if I may, I mean, the
Yeah.
thing that's driving the cost is really recycling
Yeah.
of the trash pickup. It's the recycling, it's almost, but we're a green community. People expect you to recycle, but the cost, that's the cost center, is really recycling. And then, of course, the other added cost is we're one of the few communities that we have curbside pickup, and we have, I don't wanna call it the dump, but if I lack of words, the transfer station, thank you.
Transfer station.
It's having a senior moment.
Yeah, that's right. All right. Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? All right. Article 12.
Article 12, I move this article as written.
Do you have a second?
Okay.
Second.
Carlos?
So basically, this new contract has to go to town meeting because it's longer than 3 years. There's a 3-year contract with 2 one-year extensions. And DPW feels that it's in our best interest to stay with the current vendor. Republic is the largest landfill owner in the United States, and continuing on with them at this point will keep our costs down, cost of collection and solid waste disposal down.
All right. Any Any discussion?
I got a question. Will this change anything other than the cost? We still gonna just stuck the way we're doing it?
They did not indicate that
So we
anything else
probably-
other would change.
okay.
And as we know
We're not
from the
meeting
strike, they're a $10 billion plus company.
Yeah.
Based on our meeting, there was nothing
Yeah.
that indicated could be a change.
I was just asking.
That's a good point, but I
Yeah.
mean,
So I'm sure it's just the cost.
And we feel that, they feel that overall they do a good job with the collection.
I'm not questioning, I was just asking.
No, yeah, no, that's a good question.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? All right, moving on to Article 13.
we've got the,
Who's got 13?
um,
Oh, Paul, that's.
well, all right, I'll do third, I'll do third, I'll give you the, Article 13. This funding is to prepare the Board of Public Works to transfer to the Munis, is that how you pronounce it?
Yes.
So there's a new financial system that's gonna be installed, and this is the funding that they need to get ready to participate in it.
What we going.
Great. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? All right.
Was that Article 13 we
That was
just
Article
did?
Yeah.
13.
So that's for them to go to quarterly billing, so that's gonna be a great benefit to our residents.
So right now we're semi-annual, is that?
Correct, yep, so it's gonna be huge, especially to the folks that are down in the sewer district, because your sewer's usually 3 times your water, so this gives you a little relief, you get 4 bites of the apple instead of 2.
All right. Then typically you get, because you're generating all that, all the bills, now you're generating twice as many bills, but you're gonna save money.
Yes.
It comes in quicker.
Yes. so keep-
Cash flow, it improves the
flow,
cash flow.
Yes.
Which is king.
Yeah. That's what happened to the
You
real
should
estate.
write, you should write that down, cash is king.
Cash is king, yeah. Las Vegas, it's in every casino in Las Vegas.
All right. Okay, that was 13, right, we voted on 13, right now we're at 14,
Yeah.
right? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Well,
Did we,
No, we didn't vote.
we didn't vote. on
We
that.
didn't vote on 13?
No, we just discussed.
I checked it off, okay, my bad. Any further discussion on 13? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Oh, okay. 14.
well, I'll move file for 14 as written.
Second.
And this is just for the repair of generators at the main lift station and treatment plant, as both were damaged in the January blizzard.
Okay. I don't think I've ever seen an article like this before. They've always been safe, I guess, the
Yeah, I
generators?
don't remember seeing it.
Yeah,
So,
Yeah,
that storm was really one,
yeah.
I think it's, I think you're right.
It blew for the wastewater vent, and everything got wet and it shut down. So this is gonna repair the generator at the main lift treatment center
Yeah.
as well.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Article 15 we did. Article 16.
Okay, I move it as written.
Article 16, did we do Article 16?
I have it checked off.
Yeah, I have it
Yes.
checked off.
Oh, okay.
Yep. All right, here we go. Article, in the annual, we're going Article 4.
Yeah, capital.
Who is,
Donnie, that's Paul, so are you gonna take that?
yeah, I'll let us get to 4 and then, we move this article as written, Article 4.
I'll second it.
And the advisory board supports this article. You know, as capital budget committee has determined that the town has the resources to support these projects.
Yeah.
If anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer any questions that the
They'll come
advisory
in.
board has.
Yeah, no, I mean, typically we support this, and it's fine. It just would've been nice if they showed up at some meeting somewhere.
Agreed.
Any discussion? Seeing none, all those in
I
favor?
don't know, I got a
Oh,
question.
oh. Raise your hand.
The new software that you have in here, I know it wasn't recommended. Is there a timetable that you're gonna try to do it?
Munis? You talking about Munis?
Yeah, it doesn't, yeah, Munis.
Yeah.
Oh, I will let Lisa's resident expert on Munis.
No, we're set
And here.
to, fingers crossed, start October. That'll be the first implementation. with the accounting part of it. Then we're starting to work on the revenue, the taxes.
Okay.
So it's like in stages.
So you don't need to buy this yet?
What are you talking
We've
about?
already.
It's already been purchased. Yeah, sorry, we're already purchasing,
Then it
but,
said recommended, nothing.
Yeah, because that's already been.
oh, it's
done.
already been, so the only stuff that's, so maybe, Mr. Chairman, just so people,
Yes, please.
the only stuff that's funded, if you look in the very last
No,
column, under
no,
funding
I
source.
understand how it is.
Okay,
I
that was
just-
just, it was left on the chart, it never came off for some
Okay.
reason. We've already purchased it.
That's why I asked, okay.
Yep.
Okay, I have no more questions.
Okay. Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? All right,
So that was just an oversight then, Mike?
Yes.
Okay.
yeah. I have 5, I have 6.
That's me. I move the article as written.
Second.
Okay, basically, this is an annual article that allows us to accept the Chapter 90 funds for local transportation and funding provided by the Mass DOT.
Okay. Any further discussion?
Have they identified where they're gonna use it? I know.
We didn't ask.
Sometimes they tell us. Sometimes it just goes in the fund. Okay, I was just curious.
If you want, we can find
No,
out.
no, I was just curious.
We're actually, Mr. Chairman, if I may, we're actually, the governor and the governor's supplemental that he signed about 10 days ago, there's, I think it's $100 extra million for the Commonwealth, so we'll end up getting a little more than that, but not in time to accept it here, so we'll be
Right.
able to accept it later in the fall at the special.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? All right, that was 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I've got 12.
I move it as written.
Second.
Paul's not here, so he was gonna have the first 5 articles, so what
Yep.
I would say, items 1, 2, 3, and 4 are annual set-aside. CPC designates whatever the percentage is.
10%.
So- Yeah, and then on, item 5, the Daniel Webster, state that this simply will bring the glass back to its historic time frame.
Okay.
It may, maybe I will abstain from any vote on this.
Okay.
Should I, because my wife's on the board of directors at
Okay, yeah.
Daniel Webster, so
Okay.
I'll just,
Yeah, no, we have enough, so that's fine. All right, any further discussion on this one? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstained? Ms. Donnie?
But you can vote at town meeting, you know.
yeah, I can vote
Yeah.
then, but I,
Okay.
I have number 6, Tom.
What's that?
I have number 6.
Oh, I
Item
think
six.
we just voted on the entire. Yeah.
Oh, you
can
voted on
discuss
the
it all,
entire
You don't
thing?
have to, unless it's a
Okay.
question.
Yeah, I'm all
Awesome.
good. Yeah, I'm
Awesome.
all good.
Love it.
All right, okay,
Which one are you looking for?
Trail commission?
They're further down, they should be in like the little conference room, number 1.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
feeling when someone comes in, it's always a mistake.
You noticed that, huh?
We're so nice. Okay, so I have us not voting on 14 yet. That was the snow and ice, which was of,
did we finish this one yet?
right?
I can cover that if you want.
Okay,
You
yeah,
voted?
yeah.
As
Yeah, we
is.
voted on the whole thing.
So
Oh, we
I,
did, we
do we-
vote?
yeah, we-
We didn't vote, sorry, Mark.
Did we vote
I don't
on
think we
this?
Yeah,
voted
we-
on 12, on the whole, I don't think we voted on the whole.
I voted on everything, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so,
We
it was-
voted
oh, so
on
we
Yeah,
did.
you had, for discussion, you had mentioned 5,
Yeah.
Okay.
and then
Oh,
there was no
that's all?
further discussion, on anything
Awesome.
else, so we voted on it. We had 5 for it
Quickly
and
we
1
forget.
abstain.
that's it, right.
There you go.
Good, okay.
Excellent.
Right? You got that?
Yeah.
On
Oh.
annual 12, 5 yeas, 0 no's, and 1 abstain, which is Donnie Radcliffe.
Right, Donnie, but I have in my notes that we voted on, 12 annual,
Yeah.
Article 12 last week.
We did.
I don't have
That
that
was-
check.
That
No,
was
we did it,
special.
we did it.
I have it as.
We started talking about it, but
Yeah.
we didn't vote.
Oh, okay.
That's all.
Yep.
What was
I
that?
think
We
we were,
passed over.
Yeah,
You
you
passed
did.
over it
Yeah,
last
we
week?
did.
Yeah.
There you go, okay.
They said they
I
weren't.
think
Yeah.
we're all done.
We're good.
All right, we're gonna go to Article 14 with Mark.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I move it as written?
Second.
Okay, so,
Wait. You're moving?
well, I mean, I'm gonna vote again, I might vote
No,
against
you
it.
just voted to approve this.
Oh, no, so what do?
Vote not to approve it.
I move not to approve.
Okay.
I'll second that. Okay, so this is a petition to approve the town will vote to approve the process of funding enterprise-provided labor during snow and ice events such as plowing, sanding, and treatment. It takes place during normal business hours directly from the annual snow and ice budget. I conferred with town council about this. There are three reasons. It's like, he thinks it's illegal, he thinks it's improper and violates town charter. So there are three objections that he raised, which I talked through with him. Those objections make a lot of sense to me. The first is that the provision itself is unintelligible. It's unclear exactly what they're asking the town to vote on. They talk about a process of budgeting, but doesn't describe the process. And beyond that, it's not entirely clear the provisions of who's doing what and when it will be funded through the snow and ice budget. The second, which I think is equally, if not more problematic, is that if you try to imagine what the petitioner is seeking, which is to compel the Board of Selectmen in the town to allocate from the snow and ice budget all the funds that will ever be needed to pay the laborers who work at the wastewater, the sewer treatment, and the other enterprise. It's actually compelling the board of selectmen to budget in a certain way, and in that sense, it exceeds the authority of the town meeting. The town meeting is essentially the legislative branch of government. It can approve a budget that's presented, but it impinges on the executive branch, which is the Board of Selectmen and others, because it's directing them how to budget something going forward, which is not, in the town council's view, exceeds the authority of the town meeting. Basically, we can't tell them how to budget, how to allocate going forward, certainly, in a sort of for all time, as this seems to propose. So for that reason, it's arguably unenforceable. And the last piece is, the town has a sort of an agreed upon indirect cost policy. It's an extensive policy on how certain costs are going to be allocated among different departments and different budgets. That's agreed upon, I think, each year or periodically.
Each year.
And there are a lot of considerations that go into that, and probably a lot of trade-offs, I imagine. And this is inconsistent with that agreed upon policy, right? And ultimately, what this appears to be asking is that funds be provided by one budget and not another. So it's not really affecting the taxpayer or the ratepayer. Someone's going to pay it, but it's essentially a dispute between, groups within the town government that have certain budgets. And that really ought to be done and is done with this omnibus agreement each year for indirect cost policy. This is sort of taking and changing one of those things without thinking about the whole. And so in that sense, it's ill-advised. So unintelligible in its face, conflicts, it breaches separation of power under the town charter, and inconsistent with the agreed upon indirect cost policy, and ill-advised in that sense.
Great job.
There you go.
You have me a lot,
Yes.
quite honestly.
Just one other thing, Mr. Chairman, if I
Yes,
could add.
you
So,
may.
the petitioner, what he likes to do is blur the lines between the ratepayer and the taxpayer. We're one Marshfield. Most people are taxpayers. Not everyone's a ratepayer, but majority of the people get water. About 45% of the people get sewer. So, and as the previous speaker mentioned, we have an indirect policy. It's a very huge indirect policy. It's probably like 300 pages by the time you get all the appropriate charts in there. That's the policy. We do meet annually every year with Tom, with Dan Bowen, myself, the treasurer, and there's always give and take. There's concessions. Since I've been here, I committed to that meeting annually. That meeting didn't happen till I got here, and I do a meeting. It's a living, breathing document. I'm happy to make adjustments. This year, the commissioners didn't want to sign the document, So we use the same parameters from the previous, that's under state law. So, you know, we have a policy, you have to adhere to the policy. It's what, you can't mix and match. So the policy's based on assumptions, and it's based on estimates. It's not exact. If you want exact, then we scrub this policy, we create a new policy where, I won't venture to say, I will defer to the treasurer, but I think about 85% of the communities that have an arrangement like this use a prefix percentage. It's the easiest way to do it, and they chalk off those areas that, you know, the cost has to be shared by a percentage, and then you will have an exact number, because it's based on a numerical.
Gotcha.
Great, thank you. Pete?
I think the state would throw this out anyways, because this is an unfunded liability during most years, because you can deficit spend. You can't deficit spend any other departments. So I don't know how enterprise would fit in this.
That's a great point. We didn't even, until you just mentioned that, you're
Yeah.
100% correct. The only thing in state government you can overspend on is snow and ice. I mean,
Right.
you have to, at the end of the fiscal year, you gotta pay your bill, but you don't have to worry about it in between there.
Sometimes the new guy on the advisory board gets a.
That's it, Mr.
finds it-
Chairman.
But the enterprise has to be funded,
Correct.
so I think they throw it out.
Okay, so we're going to, okay, so.
Vote against.
We're going to.
So how's it work? So I moved to vote against it.
Right.
So as a yay vote, you're voting against it?
Yeah.
Okay,
That's
Now,
correct.
now we're voting to support your vote,
okay.
but theoretically, we're not recommending approval of this.
Right, so the way it will be written up is the vote, the advisory board recommended not to approve.
Okay.
All right, so for those recommending not to approve, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Anybody for it? Abstain? All right, there we go. Okay. For Article 15 and 16, I did talk to Bob, so it's a little confusing because, so we're not gonna vote on it. But John had thought that the petitioner would talk about it for like 5 minutes at the town meeting. That's what it confused me. So that is not the case. It looks like Don will read the verbiage. That's it. No discussion from anybody else, not the petitioner, not us, nobody. So the decision's sort of been made, you know, just, you know, not to even
Sounds
No,
set
good.
a precedent on voting for what is essentially a resolution. All right?
I think that's the way to go, yeah.
All right?
So that'll get voted on,
It's a
Right,
non-binding
It's a
vote.
non-binding
It goes to the
vote. It
Board
goes
of
to
Selectmen if it's supported, and they make the decision.
and they make the decision.
Within 30 days, once the
Right.
selectmen get it, they have 30 days to convene a public hearing. They have a public hearing, the petitioner is invited to do the presentation, presents to the board takes it under advisement, and then makes a decision on, they're either gonna adopt some of the stuff, or they'll not adopt, and they'll explain the reason and the rationale for not.
Unless you get voted down at town meeting, then the.
Then there's no hearing, that's
But
correct.
keep in mind, we're not voting on to petition,
Right.
the two articles, we're voting on, we're talking about the procedure.
The-
Yes.
What's in there, town meeting can handle,
Yes.
by ignoring it or
Right,
supporting
but,
it.
yeah,
Whether or not it
Yeah.
goes before this Board of
Right.
Selectmen, that's what we're voting on, whether or
Right.
not, okay.
Right.
Yeah, so I think it was a little confusing that they were in the warrant, and then Wade, Don had explained it, because it was kind of, that's new for him as well, because it was in the warrant, so there you go. Let's, because we can fix the number 12, so we can actually definitely vote on minutes next meeting, which will be before the town meeting. All right, I'll post something, so we'll meet, where's the town meeting this year?
Town meeting's in the gym, so you can
In the
meet
gym
sort of
again.
right in your designated sitting
Yeah,
area.
exactly, so it's at 7, so I'll post a meeting for like 6:45.
Perfect.
Right, and then we'll get there, we'll vote on the minutes, something else happens to pop up, I can have time to put it in the,
We could sit closer if there's no objection now with the, COVID. We can put a table probably up front for you folks to all sit at if you
That'd be
want,
good.
as opposed to the seats.
Great,
Well, I'll make
It
arrangements
doesn't
to have a
matter.
table.
It doesn't matter though.
It's nice to be able to see what's going on.
Certainly, well, I'll fix it so that you guys can sit there.
Okay.
okay, awesome, all right, so we will, we'll meet 6:45 on April 25th before the town meeting, and I will post that. Anybody else have any business at all? I think I can do that. All right, I adjourn the meeting at 7:07. Again, thanks for the report.
Nice job, Tom.
Great job, Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Bill.
Questions?
No, no, no.